Hello, and welcome back to the Soccerspective YouTube channel. Today, we're going to be looking at Brighton and Hove Albion and their bid for survival in the Premier League for a fifth successive season. The Seagulls have been a mainstay in the English top flight since 2017 after coming second in the Championship, three of the promotion-winning side featuring in the Premier League this season for the club. At the time of recording, the club are currently sat 16th in the league, 6 points above the relegation zone. A massive win against defending champions Liverpool has been marred by losses to relegation rivals West Brom and Crystal Palace, games in which Brighton dominated. They've bounced back to beat fellow strugglers Southampton and Newcastle in recent times with 9 games left to go. But do Brighton have enough at their disposal to avoid relegation? Today, we're looking at 5 reasons Brighton will stay in the Premier League this season. Number 5. The underlying stats. In the last 4 matches, Brighton have recorded a league-high 87 attempts on goal, with 57 coming inside the 18-yard box, yet have only managed to find the back of the net 5 times. Their 2-1 loss to Crystal Palace at home came as the Seagulls had an expected goal stat of 3.03, giving them a 91% chance of winning the tie. Palace, with an expected goal stat of 0.27, ran out victors in a match they were expected to win only 2% of the time. This has been the case over the entirety of the season for Brighton, mustering up 2 victories at home in 14 matches, yet winning the expected goal stat in 12 outcomes. According to Infogol Stats, Brighton have the highest expected points in the league at home, based on chances created and conceded. Whilst predicted to have 30 points at the Amex Stadium, the reality is Brighton only have 13. Though the side are currently underperforming, the stats show Brighton have the capability to create chances and win games should they be a bit more clinical in front of goal. This was reflected in their recent 3-0 victory over Newcastle, and should Brighton continue their expected goal scoring form, they should survive the drop. Number 4. The team struggling around them. Whilst Brighton have failed to pick up some valuable points in the last few weeks, the teams around them are struggling just as much, opening the door to a potential surge out of the bottom 6. The Seagulls recently beat fellow strugglers Southampton 2-1 thanks to goals from Lewis Dunk and Leandro Trossard, either side of a Che Adams strike. The Saints have only taken 1 win from their last 7 matches, their only win coming against the Sheffield side tipped for relegation already. Brighton also capitalised on Newcastle's poor run of form to beat the Magpies 3-0 for the second time this season. Newcastle have been short of wins in recent weeks, winless in 5 and their only victory in 7 games coming at the expense of the Saints. They also failed to beat 19th place West Bromwich Albion, which would have seen the gap extend above the bottom 3 to 4 points. Sheffield United currently sit 14 points from safety, and having just recently departed with manager Chris Wilder, it is unlikely the Blades will recover in time. Despite an impressive victory over Liverpool, Fulham are winless in 3 and dropped 2 valuable points at Crystal Palace at the end of February. And finally, West Brom, despite turning around form with a win over Brighton and draws to Burnley and Manchester United, remain in 19th, 10 points from safety. Brighton start the run-in 6 points from relegation, with the teams around them unlikely to catch up. Number 3. An impressive home defensive record. Despite only picking up 2 home wins all season, Brighton's defensive record when playing at the Amex Stadium is stellar. The South Coast side have one of the strongest home defences in the league. They concede 4.8 shots in the box at home compared to 6.7 away, as well as conceding 0.8 big chances and expected goals conceded at home. This is significantly less than the 2.1 big chances conceded away and the expected goals of 1.2 on the road. Goalkeeper Robert Sanchez averages the 3rd best record in the league, conceding only 0.94 goals per 90 minutes, bested only by Edouard Mendy and Ederson. Skipper Lewis Dunk averages 3.1 clearances a game, whilst also ranking as the club's 2nd top goal scorer with 4 goals. Ben White is currently in the top 10 in the league for interceptions, whilst tied with Adam Webster for the most blocks in the team. Should the side kick on in the closing stages of the season and retain their solid home defensive record, Brighton will shut out the teams around them and earn the coveted 40 points for safety. Number 2. Talent throughout the squad. 16th in the league is not a fair reflection on the sheer amount of talent in the Brighton squad across the pitch. With depth in every position, international stars and future wonder kids, Brighton's long-term future is in safe hands should they keep their star players. Tariq Lamptey has featured 11 times for the Seagulls this season, returning a goal and an assist alongside a clean sheet. He plays on the right hand side as an attacking fullback, pushing up the pitch, beating players with his pace and dribbling ability, whilst assured defensively too. He leads the club on interceptions per 90 with 1.7, with 1.5 tackles and winning 2.5 fouls a game, the most in the squad. 24-year-old Yves Bissouma has already attracted the likes of Real Madrid and Liverpool with his performances this season. Featuring 24 times for the Seagulls, Bissouma has 1 goal to his name, but playing as a part of a midfield pivot, his biggest strength comes defensively. He is 5th in the league for successful tackles, leading the Brighton squad, and is also 2nd for interceptions with 1.5 a game. Leandro Trossard has kicked on under Graham Potter this season to recapture the form that saw Brighton sign him from Genk in 2019. He has returned 9 goal contributions in 24 matches so far this season, with 4 goals and 5 assists to his name. The winger ranks 2nd in the club for assists, key passes and shots on goal per match, averaging the most crosses from open play. Not to mention the likes of Neil Maupay, Lewis Dunk and Ben White, who have all had stellar campaigns for the Seagulls this season. Brighton have the players to stay up, the side just need to start gelling in the big moments. Number 1. A kickstart victory before the run-in. For only the 3rd time this season, Brighton managed to score 3 goals in a single game in their 3-0 home victory over Newcastle. Each of the front 3 in Danny Welbeck, Leandro Trossard and Neil Maupay all scored for the home side as they gave themselves a 6-point buffer from the drop zone. The side have been underperforming in front of goal before their last 2 victories, but have finally seemed to find their goal-scoring touch at the right time. 6 shots on target against Newcastle returned 3 goals, with Trossard scoring in successive games. The side dominated with 65.3% possession and maintained a pass completion rate of 88.9%. This, coupled with a first clean sheet in 6, will give Brighton some much needed momentum with a difficult run-in. What's more is they sent Newcastle further down the table to 17th and just 2 points clear of the drop zone. There's only positives to take from the Newcastle game, and the side should finish strongly and have the foundations for a strong campaign in the top flight next season. Will Brighton stay up this season, or do you think they'll face the drop? Let us know in the comments below, and thank you for watching Soccerspective.